Hello and welcome back to Lani Speaks the podcast. If you are here in real time, I am so sorry for the past 2 weeks, y'all. I am so sorry. Life got crazy, and as you know, I just got back into the flow of doing the podcast again, and sometimes the enemy just don't want a bitch to win. And I'm gonna win. And so I just got off a call with my coach, my career coach. As you all know, I have that. She's the one who prompted me to restart my podcast anyway. And I'm very excited. We had a very fruitful discussion, which led me to today's episode, which, if you see the title, well, there's a few working titles in my mind right now, but I think the title is going to be full of shit, or you're full of shit. Because we were talking about creating, like, what I'm trying to create for myself, which is originally how this podcast began, how my business began, how my philosophy on life became so pointed, so clear, and what it really is, and which I forgot for a little bit, was that I want to create an easeful life. And like, I literally have an affirmation in front of my desk that it's okay for life to be easy. And I needed that reminder because, and it's big. I have a lot of affirmations, but it's the biggest one. Because I got to a place, or I got to a place of realization that I tend to think that things have to be hard. Things have to be difficult. I have to stress. I have to strive. I have to beat myself to the bone to get what it is that I want for my life. And I don't want to believe that anymore. I don't want to subscribe to that belief. And whatever you believe, you act in alignment with. And so, like, I found myself acting in alignment with that, like things being difficult and me being okay with them, because I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be. Now, I know that life can be difficult. You cannot escape life's difficulties. But for the most part, I want my life to be easeful. I want to have ease throughout the day, every single day, like that be at the core of what it is that I experience. And so, why this title came about, though, was because I began to be full of shit. And I will tell you how. It is really because my life was full of shit. It was just bullshit, Let me just make sure there's no echo. I'm sorry. I'm the producer and whatever, manager, all that for the podcast. So I don't want to hear that. Okay, and I'm not editing nothing. This is straight off the dome. This is self-produced, it used to be edited, no longer. We're just gonna roll with it, okay? You're never here long anymore, so don't worry about that. But so, as we always start, I did give you a little anecdote of like how we got here to the title of today, and the real message is that I want you to create a life that is full of what you want. And a lot of the time, we think that we want something, but we're not acting like we want that thing because our actions do not align with what we said. So, for instance, I'm saying I want an easeful life. I want things to feel good. One of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite yogis, Adrienne, Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. If you don't know her, get tapped in. She's like, find what feels good. Do that. And that's real. I want my life to feel good. I want my life to feel harmonious with me. I don't want to feel like I'm fighting every time I get up in the morning, And I just recently, literally yesterday, decided to stop letting my life be full of shit. So here's what my life that was full of shit was looking like. And I'm being real transparent with y'all. And if you know me in real life, I don't want to hear none of this. Okay? None of it. Unless you want to talk about, the process of getting rid of the shit. But I say I want an easeful life, right? But I would get up in the morning, not do the things that fed my spirit. I wasn't really disciplined with my spiritual practices or just routine, like sleeping at a good amount of time every night, working out. And it is so frustrating, y'all. I don't know. Like, I'm new to my 30s. Okay, I'm 32. I know I don't look that, but it's okay to look 32, okay? But I'm 32, and my body is changing very quickly. And I am grappling with this new reality of life after 30. And I need to work out. I need to get this also my human design impacts this as well. We will get into that another day, or maybe an old episode. I'm pretty sure I'm talking about my human design. I need to get this energy out. I started to get real complacent. And I misunderstood my affirmation, which was, it's okay for life to be easy. And so I started to be like, I put lazy in the easy. I was like, I don't feel like it. It's easy for me to be on this couch. It's easy for me to be scrolling on my phone. It's easy for me to ignore everybody and not just build community or be around my community. It's easy for me to pop an edible so I don't have to really feel my feelings, and just like I can coast through the day because I'm not, at the whim of my emotions, which is real. I'm an emotional person. Or I'ma just drink. It's easy for me to do that. I started doing stuff like that. And before I knew it, I had built and sustained all these very unhealthy habits that were actually to my demise. Because I got to the point where I'm looking at myself, I'm like, girl, who are you? What are you doing? And it's okay to evolve, right? I do believe that we get to points in our lives where we're like, I don't know this new girl, let's get to know her, but it's for the better. I've had that multiple times. And then I also just recently had where it was for the worse. And I was really out here doing things that were not for my benefit. And I was just like, well, under the guise of it's easy. My life is easy. My life is relaxing. But okay, girl, you feel bad. I was not cooking. I was eating out. I would like, because it was easy to do. I didn't want to cook. It's easy to just go get a meal. At least I'm eating. It was just a lot of shit. It was full of shit. Do you hear me? So once I finally got fed up with myself, and I feel like I'm one of them teachers or the people in the corporate world who be like, I understand the deep breaths. They be, what's that, corporate Erin on social media? She be doing that? It's real. Okay, I'm sorry. The saliva builds up. Shut up. So, first thing I did was I took inventory, right? Like, this is what I'd say to everybody if you've been a part of my or learned about or heard about my Get Your Shit Together program, which I'm literally taking myself through the Get Your Shit Together program again because I need to get my shit together. The first thing is you cannot go nowhere without a plan. You cannot do something if you don't know where you are. Like, how you gonna know where you're going if you don't know where you at? You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Like, I had to get a clear idea of where it is that I am so that I can see, okay, what changes actually needs to happen. So the first step is always taking inventory, taking a look around. What are your current habits? For me, it was popping an edible. Soon as I closed that work laptop, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to feel nothing. I just want to laugh. Because when I was on the edible, it was great. The hee-hees and the ha-has were plentiful. What else was I doing? I wasn't cooking. I wasn't working out. I was just like, I don't feel like all the things. I was like, these are the things that I'm not doing, but things that I knew that when I was doing them, I felt better. My life felt wonderful. It felt good to live. And so that was my image. I'm like, okay, what we need to do. Now that I'm taking inventory of like what my habits are, observing. There's a period of observing, mind you, like, which is where journaling comes in. It's very, very helpful. Y'all know me. I'm always gonna tell you need to journal. You need to write it down. You need to process. And in this period of time, I also haven't had a therapist for not my personal preference, but I haven't had really a mirror to me about all the things that have been changing for me, my habits that have been changing. I haven't had nobody to process that with. I'm living with myself, processing this stuff and not really processing it as well. I'm just doing stuff. So taking inventory, it probably was about, I would say, a good month of me being like, I noticed this. I don't really like that, but let's, whatever. Well, I'm noticing this. I want to change that, but whatever, And I had to get fed up. And I tell this to everybody, you're not finna change nothing until you get fed up with yourself, till you done with your own bullshit. That's just what it is. And I pray for everybody, specifically for me, why I finally got fed up and did something about it. Was like, I don't want it to be like, because I have to, like for a health reason, or for like, I'm gonna have to get my shit together so I don't gotta get kicked out of nowhere, whatever. Like, whatever. You're going to have to get fed up. Okay. And I got fed up. So I took inventory and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to change. Okay. So you take your inventory, you see what you need to change, then you make a shift. You decide what the shift is going to be. So you say, for me, it was, I really want to start cooking more because I know, because part of my issue was that I put on a lot of weight and I love my body at all phases. I'm learning to love my body. Let me not lie to myself. I'm learning to love my body in all its phases and its ups and downs, its fluctuations. As a woman, I know that genuinely and generally, my weight is going to go up and down, period. But I was making decisions that was making my weight go up. And I don't want to do that no more. Cause it's just uncomfortable for me. Like I felt heavy. It didn't feel good. It was, you know how some people like, they look a little pep in their step when they gain a little weight or whatever. It wasn't it. I had gone past that limit. So I'm like, oh, I know that if I ate at home more, first of all, I will be getting nourishing, balanced meals so my aging body could get everything that it needed so that I can feel better, so that I can sleep better, so that I can perform at work better, so that I can perform in life better, so I can be excited about all the things. It'll impact me, you know? And then I wanted to be more physically active in a way that challenged me because I was doing my yoga. You know, I'm real good for yoga. But what I was choosing was the slow flows, the non-challenging flow, because I was tired of being challenged. Okay? So those are the shifts that I have made. I have decided, and I've been doing it, y'all. That was me patting my back if you're just listening, you're not watching on YouTube. But little plug, this is on YouTube. Okay. I started cooking and cooking balanced meals. I am working out. I went to the gym. Like literally yesterday was my first time in the gym. Okay. This is very new. So y'all gonna follow me on this journey, okay? Went to the gym, realized like I used to love weight training in college. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I loved it. So like now I know what I'm doing. It was very easy, very quick, very simple. And I'm more confident to ask somebody for help if I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know, things have changed. And then getting my walk in. You know, I'm in Houston and it's hot as hell. So if I can't go outside, what I used to do actually was like, oh my God, it's so hot. I'm just not going to go. Now I have a walking partner, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, accountability. I have a walking partner. We decided we're going to go later in the day when the sun is about to set. So we can't just say, oh, it's too hot. You know, we're going to still be outside. And if it's raining, which you know it tends to do in Houston, I'm going to go get on the treadmill. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I will beat my own ass if I keep playing these games with myself, okay? So that was the shift. So we following the steps, take inventory. See what you can change. Maybe I should number these for the people who are listening and not watching me count with my fingers. Number 1, take inventory. Number 2, see what you can change, right? Like taking inventory, seeing all the things, like you are not going to be able to tackle everything, okay? The second step is seeing what you can change. Third step is making the shift. Making the decision. I've told you many times if you listen to my old episodes, you have to decide. The decision is a yes or no. Like you are committing or you're not. Because if you're not committing, you haven't made the decision. Period. If you decide you're going to travel somewhere, either you traveling or you staying at home. If you decide you're doing something, you're either doing it or you're not. It's either or. It's not. There's no and in this situation. I'm sorry. I know most of life is in the gray, and in the end, this is not one of those. Either you're doing it or you're not. Now, what that looks like each day, right? Like every day, I'm not going to be able to go to the gym and weightlift because I'm actually sore as hell right now. So what I'm going to stay committed to is doing my daily yoga and going on my walk. Those don't hurt. Sometimes the yoga hurts, but it don't hurt as much as weightlifting. Okay, or weight training. So there we are. We have to take inventory, see what you can change, make a shift. Last step, tell somebody. You're gonna wanna tell somebody. You're gonna wanna tell everybody. Well, not everybody. That's a song. If you didn't peep. Tell somebody. Accountability is important. You telling yourself is why you stuck in the first place. Because you keep on saying, I'm good, never mind. That's why you ain't got nobody holding you accountable. Now, this don't have to be you hiring a coach. It don't have to be like your friends that you talk to all the time. This happens to me all the time. When I start telling vulnerably and authentically. This is what I'm struggling with right now. 9 times out of 10, my friends like, girl, me too. And I'm like, it don't hurt to be like, hey, would you want to hold me accountable for this? I'll hold you accountable. We can check in about this. You can decide like if you're gonna check in weekly or whatever the hell you're gonna do. Like I have a walking buddy now because we both are committed. We both have a similar goal of being more active. So what we do together is we go on our walks and we have accountability with each other. Like, hey girl, we still doing this? And when we're on our walks, we're talking about what's important to us and like the things we're trying to change and the things we're trying to evolve in. That's a great accountability buddy. Accountability buddy. And for my other things, like for my career, I have my career coach, which again, I say plug for you. If you are in Houston, the women's resource, free career coaching, free financial coaching, sign up. There are some qualifications for that, but just check it out. It could be a family member. My sister and I talk about, our eating habits and like how they've gotten away from us. And we check in with each other. Like it doesn't always have to be the super formal, very like overly dramatic thing. Again, making it easy. I guess that's my final tip for y'all. Keep it simple. One of my old teachers at my high school, he'd be like, keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Keep it simple. I don't want to call you stupid, but keep it simple. It don't have to be hard. That's why a lot of us never get started because we make it so hard. Like it got to be this big thing. Every day I got to da 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 da. No, life is going to life. What can you commit to no matter what the hell is going on? What is going to be your self-care? Loving on yourself no matter what is going on. What is going to feel good to you no matter what is going on? You feel me? You have to, and you can test this out. You can say this week, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if it works. A week ain't that long, but a week is a good barometer, I guess. You know, we overdo it sometimes. Like this year, baby. Shut up, slow down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say shut up. Slow down. Don't overwhelm yourself, okay? So I think that's all I have to share with you today. So the invitation for you today is to decide what do you want your life to be full of. And let that guide you as you take inventory. Is your life, you say you want your life to be full of joy, and you look around, it's a whole bunch of drama, whole bunch of BS, whole bunch of just mess. Then you gotta decide, okay, what you gonna change? What you gonna unplug from? What you gonna plug into? So your invitation today, your question of the day or of the week, is what is your life full of? And does that match what you want it to be? If not, you got some work to do, and that's okay. Okay. Yes. That is all I have to say today. I hope you have a great day, great week, and I will see you next week. It's your girl, Lani G. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Coached by Lani G. And yes, I'm doing my best to try to be more active over there. Social media and we're trying to become friends again. So I think that's it. I know y'all know I'm good for a long-winded goodbye. So I'm just going to wrap it up here. Ta-ta. See you next week, love. Bye.